All right, welcome everybody. So here we're unloading the projects that we have, that people have ordered, and we're putting them in the shop, getting ready for the next process. All right, for our form, we decided to use melamine, and the reason why is because you can see that white surface. That white surface is a little easier to release from the mold. We were contemplating using MDF, but MDF, we believe that we're going to have to coat the inside of it with tape, and so to avoid doing some of that, we're going to just go ahead and use melamine, which is a lot of times it's used for the kitchens and because it's easy to clean, but it's got like a little layer on the top of it that will protect it and won't allow the resin to seep into it. So we have a larger than 8-foot table that we're building. So the final dimensions are going to be 36 by 9 feet. So 3 feet by 9 feet. And so what we need to do is we need to take and we need to put another foot or so on the end of that melamine. And then we need to build the sides. So we've got the track saw on, and now we're going to cut the first side.
Contact. Number one.
So now that we've cut the first side, now it's time to move the track saw and cut the second side, or at least the longer portion of it. All right, so we make the next measurement for the other side, mark, place, and cut. This is a Makita track saw that we're using. It clamps on underneath. There's a little groove which the clamps go into and clamp from underneath without getting in the way of your saw. It helps to have two people while you're cutting through this. There's another method of putting it on the ground and then using foam that you can cut through, but this seems to work pretty good for us.
So we don't have to think. There you go.
Okay, we have our sides cut, and we have a little bit left over that I think we're going to use for the ends, and so that's going to be a little bit taller, but because this table is probably going to be destroyed after this mold, we don't really care about cutting it to size. We just want to make sure that it fits snug and that it does the job.
Because I want the sides to kind of...
Oh, to overlap? So we can put the long ones over here and the short one over there?
Yeah.
Alright.
Then we can use that other piece for the other walls. we should have enough for all that. So I'm gonna set this on a truck or something.
Yeah.
So we're going to set this one aside for now. This is the bottom piece. Now we need to cut the extra bottom piece, and then we also need to cut the additional sides that we're going to overlap to give us our final dimensions.
So it's 35 and a half.
This is probably pretty basic dimension, but you'll notice that we move the sawhorses because we're always looking underneath our piece to make sure we don't cut into them.
Actually, on this one, you want to see the.
You want to see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the line we cut.
Make sure this is the same.
There's yours over there. Will you throw me that mask?
I think we can use that smaller one.
Cool.
We're done with it. Unless we just
Where do you want to put this on again?
Okay, so here's the deal. A lot of this other stuff is us calculating the exact sizes. So we're going to go ahead and speed this up so you can just see it being built. And maybe I'll throw in a little bit of music in there for you. Let's get going.
to that extra length.
Okay, so here's a picture of the base, and we have the full length that we need, and now we're going to start attaching the sides. But before we get to that, let's go ahead and look at the piece of wood. I needed to explain something additional. So here's the ambrosia maple that we're going to be putting in the mold. Isn't that gorgeous? If you'll see, there are a couple spots on there, and on the sides we have pre-coated it with a resin that basically will prevent it from bubbling. So in wood, there's always moisture. It doesn't matter how dry you get it, you're always going to find moisture. So what we're doing is we've sealed the sides so that doesn't bubble when we go ahead and put the river in. And you'll see we did it on all of the cracks and crevices that need to be filled. And you'll see here on this side, we also put it on the other side. It's the bottom one that I'm showing there. So here's the other piece. This is the other table that we're going to do, and you can see that we've coated that one. We've also broke out any loose debris, dust, or any loose bark that might cause any problem. Here's another project that we have that is also being coated as well. Sometimes we do a lot of these projects simultaneous. That way, when we're doing the pour process, we can knock out two birds with one stone.
Okay, now it comes time. We got to do the caulking, right? Should I put it up? Sure. So essentially, we're not trying to get a super strong joint here. We're just trying to make sure that it lasts through the pour process.
Understand?
Can we get it, or do you need?
Hey, can we go a little faster? Hey, John, cue music.
So we've caulked it. We're setting it.
Hey, what's that one song you liked? Okay, so we have the last cut, and now that we have a more management piece, we can actually use the table saw to cut.
I think that's all we need. Because that cut in half is going to be enough.
This is taking quite a few. Might have got a little excessive right there. And on the edge there. Oh yeah, that's a little excessive right there. You know, it's a little thing we call in the Army, P for plenty. Uh-oh, mama.
One thing I wanted to mention is that the sides here, the ends here are going to be a little bit taller. There's no rhyme or reason to that. This is a form that's going to be destroyed in the end, and we really don't care. It's not going to get in the way. No sense in making it perfect with the other sides.
Okay, there's our beautiful, there's our bucket, our reservoir, ready to go. Now we gotta let that son of a gun dry. And then we'll be back and we'll do what I like to call a pour.